what he said?
Well, I must say, let me say a very big good morning to your cherished listeners and viewers. I must say that the minister came to Parliament on Thursday to do a constitutional required by presenting the Ghana economic and fiscal policy for the year. And as he made, from where I sit as the business community head, I will say that we happily and warmly welcome his 2026 budget with happiness. I have described it somewhere that it is a hunter budget. And I've gone ahead to appeal to business community that we should be able to reduce our price so that citizens can also enjoy the Christmas this year. Because look at where they pick the economy and where he has brought stability and confidence into. We have seen the month of April till now, we have made some gains. By when the figure was 13 cities, and by April it was 10.2 for a very long time. Importers who were paying a duty of, let's say, 300,000 or more to clear a frozen chicken container had dropped drastically, and have made some savings. Now that we've also seen that the rate is even still at 10.9 at the harbor, and COVID levy is to be abolished, or it has been abolished if I agree, because I know they have the numbers they were doing to approve the budget. The rate of 22.9, now 20% for us. It is a relief, heavily relief to us. However, the observation that he made about saying that people are now using the port to evade by using for money laundering. Remember, he said money laundering using the declarations, some declarations, they've made some investigations, and they realized about 83 billion left the shores. And then March, if they made the assessment, they realized that it doesn't have goods in correspondence coming back into the country. And he has made investigators to investigate, and he's referring some companies and individuals to the security operative agencies to look into it. I won't be quick to object or to reject that claim, but I can, as a professional, as someone who has been in the industry, let me educate us to understand how it's done. We have some importers who are, and then I'm speaking for the loyal people, those who really trade with genuinely and the truth, and not those who want to use the port or the importation sector to do money laundering. No. So this is how it works. There are people who have worked with their suppliers for a very long time. They have built trust, and based on that, suppliers can send you goods, and then you will sell, and then send the monies out. So yes, you might see some money leaving the source, and you will not see it coming back in the form of goods. That's another group of persons who can treat it that way. There are other people.
Explain that again. You're saying that it can happen.
Yes, I'm saying that there are other groups or other legs where an importer would have built that confidence and that trustworthy with his supplier.
Okay.
So the supplier could be sent, maybe it could be sugar, it could be rice, it could be frozen chicken or whatever to you on credit. You will see that the person sold the goods in Ghana and transfer it in the name of import. So the money would go, but you will not see it corresponding goods coming into the country. That is another leg. Another leg is that...
you're saying that the person is making payment...
Hold on. Let me give you this now so they can... There's another leg. The second leg is that there are people who have also... That's what we call all year-round negotiations with their customer, with their partner or their supplier. Then, of course, they will have paid the money. Maybe the person has paid $2 million, maybe $3 million. But in terms of the goods, you will not see the goods coming in that quantity. What you will see, you will have seen a correspondent coming in tranches. So maybe, because it's a year-round contract agreement, maybe every 3 months or every month, we are sending 10 containers. So until the year completes, then you then pick the BOEs, then you tally it. That's how you will then see whether the person has actually brought good weight of the amount of money that was transferred out or not. So if that is not done, then of course you will see money leaving the source, but you're not seeing the actual corresponding goods coming. It might not come just one as it's being transferred. So maybe it's a year round, or it's a 6-month goods, or it's a 1 year goods that every month I'm getting this quantity. So by the end of the 12-month period, when we pick every BOE and you tally it, you will have seen the actual reflections of the amount that left the source. And so that is the second leg I'm trying to explain. So what am I trying to explain? I'm trying to say that there are people who are trading on credit basis. They probably have received the goods on credit, finished selling, and they have to transfer it out to go and pay the supplier. Or he has sent the money out and he's taking the goods in tranches. And so if that is so until the investigation comes out with a report, I am just giving an open education that this could be one of the things that you have seen that the money leaves the source, but in terms of corresponding goods, you might not see it reflected on one particular BOE or one particular transaction. Unless you wait till you pick the person's all yearly transactions, then you can tally it and say, no, you have sent this amount of money out, you did it. Or you have seen that, okay, the person had received the goods earlier, sold, and now paying the supplier. And that is why we are seeing these infractions. But having said that, let us leave it to the security operative and let's see what will be the end. But it's frightening. It was frightening to have here this amount of money that he talked about. We are losing so much money, and I think that I would want to support government to do a proper investigation. And then those who are doing those things, we name and shame them. And then those who are doing the good thing, we also name and praise them, because that is how I am seeing from where I sit to be.
The two categories of traders you talk about, I'm sure they usually have proof for these transactions, right?
Of course, yes. I've seen that they are saying that the bank have done some transfer over 200,000 and beyond the limit, which Bank of Ghana demanded there should have been some documentation attached. And so you cannot do the transfer to pay. You have to show some proof. Maybe you have an all year round contract. You know the total amount, and then you know how you are going to do the shipment. And those can be stated in the contract. And so they have to file that with the bank. I don't know whatever happened with the bank, and the bank will transfer the money without doing proper documentation. So it is not only the importer that will be liable. I'm sure the banks have also breached some. If that should be the internal document that we want to see document A, B, C, D before we can transfer. So that one, I think let's leave it to the security agency as well.
And for the purposes of education, if you're taking dollars from the banks to buy things outside this country, exactly what processes do you go through?
No, that is what I've just explained. If you are going to buy goods from outside the country, definitely you have gotten some invoices and other things. If you pay it and you want to file, or when the importations come to the country, they should have some receipts of payment. That is, if you go to the ICOMS, if I go and buy the goods in Afghan, I will come with invoice, I will come with way bills, I will come with payment slips and other things. All those things will let the custom officers and accept that this is the actual values of your goods that is coming. So that to avoid those people who say importers are under declaring or evading or cutting and other things, there are certain things, documentation that the customs. So if you might not see it going out, but you can see it when at the point of the clearing, because it should be attached onto. So you can print all those things and go and give to your bank. So assuming the person had sent the money at the time that he didn't have these documents to give to his bank, that the bank have done a good job by transferring to him, expecting that when the goods arrive and he's going to clear all these documents, so you can now pull this document from the customer, from the item, to give to the bank for filing purposes. If that wasn't done in terms of documentation before the money leaves the source of Ghana.
So, like you said, definitely, if a bank facilitates it, they'll have questions to answer themselves.
Definitely, they will definitely have questions. I'm not saying, but if you are doing investigation, you have to do it all around to make sure that we unravel where the mystery is, and then all of us will understand. And it also serve for the purpose of education. Yeah, like I'm educating now. Maybe at the time the Minister of Finance was reading, maybe he didn't. If at the time he has identified these infractions, some of us, like he knows that I'm in the industry, they could have called me to talk to me to find out what are some of the challenges. So we can also use the opportunity to educate. Is that not it? the minister before he can probably come to make this statement because I have very huge respect for the minister, and I wouldn't want the minister to come and rush to make any statements that at the end of the day you will not have the result coming, because when you prove further you realize that what I'm telling you was actually what okay, the person had a year-round contract with the supplier. He has the quantum, the total amount of the cost is maybe $2 million, $3 million, or whatever. He has paid, but the goods, but he didn't receive the goods at once. He received the goods in tranches. So unless you go back and pick all the year-round transactions, then you know whether Asaki has transferred $2 million, yet he didn't bring the goods worth $2 million. Or as I said, the goods have come through. So you can go back to the custom system and then check whether, okay, if the person say, it was on credit, my supplier gave me, I sell and I send his money back. Then you go on the calculation system, you see that has the person actually cleared goods worth of this amount of money or not. So it's a simple thing.
But you also admit that it's possible that what the minister suspects may be what is happening, what has happened in some cases.
I told you that I will not hold brief for the importer. I will not hold brief for the minister. We all have to educate ourselves. And I said, if the minister had before even called me, I would have come to say, okay, well, this is the challenges that some people go through. This is how things work at the port. But not just because of you have seen the money go left the stores, you didn't see the goods coming. There might be two-way. And that's why I've taken my time to educate you and your public that there are people, if you go to Abusukai, if you go to the Christian Harbour, if you go to where they are selling, there are so many customers who have built trust we call it something called ultimate good faith with their suppliers. And so the supplier can even give you goods worth of $1 million, $2 million with their casing you. You finish selling, then you can send the money back to them. There's somebody, and I said that because we also have trust, we too can send monies out to the supplier and then say it's a year-round transaction, and it's normally done 3 months to the end of the year. So this period, any serious person who want to have a year-round, every month maybe 20 containers are coming, 30 containers are coming, he would have gone to sit with the suppliers now in November, and then they prepare everything, they prepare the contract where they sign. So they will look for the contract. If somebody comes and says this is it, then you look for the contract. Okay, you ask for the contract. You will see the contract stamp in it. You will see how the goods was going to be shipped. If it's in monthly basis, how many containers, what are the quantities, what are the values? You then add that value to the canal. Then you will have seen whether the money that left the source really correspond or not.
In the meantime, you talked about how the CD's performance has been helpful to importers, but has it been the same for exporters?
Yes, I won't say it has been same for exporters, in the sense that you remember President Mama himself even said they were trying to find a very convenient rate that will serve the purpose of the importer and the exporter. Having said that, what it means also that the exporter also get benefit somewhere. It's losing from the lower rate as we're experiencing now, but probably is getting when it's going to package goods, the same goods from the manufacturers or from producers or from agro processors for export. So it will pay off somewhere. But in terms of if the person had made projection that, I'm bringing $100,000 as export proceeds, I was using the rate of it plus or minus the dollar will be 15 cedis to $1, and now it is 10.9 or 11. You have made some losses. But when you come back to the source, the inland here, and you want to buy goods from your suppliers, you also make some savings from there.
What about doing business at the ports? There were many complaints about the number of levies and also even the arrangements with VAT, among others. It looks like there have been some. Minister has indicated that there will be some reforms to that. Have things improved in a way?
Yes, the rationalization of the tax reform, the COVID levy is gone. The VAT on get fund everything is going to be gone, and it has reduced from VAT from 13.9 to 20%. This is a huge relief to the business community, and so we look forward to have those engagements with the finance ministers going forward. Yes.
And finally,
I am on air with.
Thank you. Samson Asaki, Awingobit, the Secretary, Importers and Exporters Association, join us on the line. And the main issue we raised with him had to do with import declaration.